Why you should always buy a whole chicken instead of the individual parts? Well, first of all, it is a lot cheaper than going to the supermarket and buying 3 or 4 different packages of meat. Second, you get to decide if you want to leave the skin on or take it off and use it elsewhere. But most importantly, you can use the butchering waste for some pretty neat chicken stock that isn't hard to make, stores easily, and tastes amazing. For this, I first butchered the chicken. There are plenty tutorials on YouTube, so I won't bother explaining it. As you can see, I did not do a very clean job here. I recommend you do the same when butchering your chicken. Leave some streaks of meat here and there, and don't be too accurate overall. It makes the job a lot easier, and all the meat you leave on the bone helps flavoring your stock. You should also leave some skin to render the fat out and sear the meat in its own fat. This will also help with the flavor of the stock. Making the stock is actually pretty easy. I used my all-in-one cooker to sauté and slow cook without having to watch the time, but you can easily use a pot for all of the following steps. First of all, start searing all the waste on the skin side as good as possible. Start in a cool pan and bring it up to heat to render out any fat, then sear everything till it is golden brown before flipping everything on the other side. Roughly halfway through, you can add some vegetables. Use what you have lying around and don't be too strict. Sure, most stocks use celery and carrots and the like, but just use what you have on hand. As you can see, I only had some green and white onions as well as garlic lying around since I was too lazy to go to the store. The stock still turned out great, so don't overcomplicate things here. When everything got some color, the searing is done. It is, however, important to get some color on everything as it helps enhance the flavor of the stock. The next step is to add the water. Be careful not to add too much water. The goal is to create a very concentrated stock that we can store in the form of ice cubes and add to whatever we are cooking later. Add just enough water to barely not cover the whole chicken. Trust me, the chicken will break down in the process, and everything will be submerged in water later on. You can also add some herbs and salt at this point. It is, however, also possible to add salt at the end. I had some bay leaves lying around, so I added them, and some salt to the water. Then I used the slow cooker setting to slow cook everything for 6 hours. When cooking was done, I poured everything through a strainer twice to get a nice clean stock. Now would be the time to add some more salt to taste. Remember that we want the stock to taste very intense and concentrated. When you are happy with the stock, you can pour it into an ice cube tray and freeze it. You can then add 1 or more cubes to some water for soup, or you can use it to make a sauce, or you can even add it to water you cook your rice in. Just be creative.